Welcome to Hello Baltimore County. I'm your host, Ellen Kobler. Lead paint poisoning is a major concern for children in any home built before 1979. We have in studio one of our local experts to tell us all we need to know. David Fielder from Lead Safe Baltimore County. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Ellen.
So tell us a little bit about Lead Safe Baltimore County and how you've been working with the residents.
Sure. So in the last about year and a half, we've assisted about 75 families in Baltimore County. But we are always looking to increase our numbers because we know that those families are out there that need the assistance of the program. In Baltimore County alone, every year there's about 150 new cases of lead poisoning in children are reported to the health department. So we're looking to kind of combat those numbers.
Yeah.
And that is only with 30% of the population of children under 6 being tested.
Only a third are being tested.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, there is new legislation for the state of Maryland where all children at ages 6 months and 72 months will be tested. So we expect to see an increase in the numbers of children that are testing positive.
Is it a blood test?
It is a blood test, that's correct.
Okay, and so not to state the obvious, but literally these children have lead, which is a very dangerous heavy metal in their blood, and that can't be good.
It isn't good. It's a neurotoxin, and that affects children specifically because they have growing minds, growing bodies, and it can affect them developmentally and cause learning disabilities later in life. In high doses, it can cause tremors in the body and even coma in really high doses.
Oh my goodness. Okay, and so how do children get the lead in their bodies? Is it mostly pain? We don't have a problem in the water system?
Water systems typically are not the problem, and we usually look at housing issues, and that comes in the form of lead paint poisoning. And so how it happens is in the east coast of the country, we have older housing stock, mostly built before 1978. That is the cutoff year that industry was allowed to use lead in paint. So that's the critical year. Mm-hmm. And we have families living in that older housing stock that may not have been renovated over time. Or a well-meaning homeowner could be renovating the house on their own and not realizing what they are exposing their children to.
Okay, so is it mostly just when you go do renovations, or can it just be in the home?
It can be just in the home. Just the daily use of windows and doors can cause small amounts of lead paint to come off those items and then build up over time on windowsills and in front of doors.
Okay, so this has been a known problem since the late 1970s.
Right.
Why are children still experiencing lead paint poisoning from their homes?
Well, again, because of the housing stock that folks are living in Baltimore County and Baltimore City, Washington, D.C., all along the East Coast. And just being exposed to those older homes can cause lead paint poisoning. Okay,
so let's sort of speak to the parents and grandparents who are out there. What should you look for? What should you do, to prevent this tragedy?
So the best way to address the situation is to have your child tested for lead paint poisoning. And that will let you know if you need to take action.
Okay, and do you do that at the doctor, the health department?
Pediatricians is the first source to go to for that kind of testing.
Okay.
Or there are other medical centers that you can have the testing done as well.
Okay, and so let's say that you find out that the child does have lead paint poisoning. What next?
Well, the next step would be to remove the child from that property and address those sources of lead paint poisoning. And that's where Lead Safe Baltimore County can come in to assist owners of homes that may have that situation.
Okay, you bring contractors in to scrape away the old paint?
We do. We have a whole program that someone gets into where we test the whole house for lead paint. We develop a scope of work which would list out specifically what needs to be addressed, and that gets assigned to a contractor within our contractor pool, and then the work would start from there.
Okay, and what happens is the children literally eat the paint chips? Is that how it gets into their system?
Not necessarily eating it, but they can ingest it by just hand-to-mouth action. So a child could be playing on the floor or grabbing a windowsill, and then they put their hands in their mouth.
Which they do constantly, little kids. And is it just inside the home, or can it also be exterior?
It can be exterior or interior. Lead paint was a very durable paint, so it was used on a lot of exterior surfaces as well as interior.
And it was promoted. I've
was
seen
promoted.
some ads
Absolutely.
from the past, you know, highest content of lead
Right.
possible, et cetera. Okay, so what would you suggest is sort of the first step that somebody that might be viewing this should do?
Well, they could find resources through our website. If they search Lead Safe Baltimore County, they'll find us at the Baltimore County website. There, they can download an application. If they don't have that ability, we're happy to mail it out to them. We can drive it out to their house and talk them through the requirements to get into the program.
Okay, and so obviously you can test the child's blood, but if you want to be more proactive, is there a way you can test the paint?
Absolutely, we try to be proactive.
You can test the paint in the house?
We do, and that's what we try to do, is prevent any kind of lead paint poisoning to begin with. And that if folks get involved with the program, we can address that situation before it ever becomes an issue for them.
Okay, and children are not just in their own home. I presume this could also be at a grandparent's house,
point.
at a daycare.
Right. We reach out to grandparents, aunts and uncles, anyone that has a child visiting their home or living in that home for any period of time. So if you're caring for children after school or on the weekends, you would be eligible for the program as well.
Okay, and if anybody has any questions, they can contact you and go to your website.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Ellen.
being with us today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Hello Baltimore County. And remember, you can connect with Baltimore County government on Facebook and Twitter.